Many of you know I got my rockhounding start from my father. Sorry to have to share that he died on March 6th. I am going to share with you, along with a few cool rocks, the top 10 things I learned from my father.
Lesson number 1. Get outdoors. Whenever possible, wherever possible. The outside world is vast and beautiful and is best appreciated up close. Immersing yourself in nature is a way of healing, of bringing peace to troubled minds and joy to aching hearts. Also, waterfalls are awesome. Lesson number 2. Rocks are fun. My dad was my rockhounding inspiration. When I was a child, we often planned family vacations around rockhounding locales. I can clearly remember a trip to Lake Michigan where we picked up Petoskey stones and wandering the banks of the Yellowstone River searching for agates. I never tired of seeing the treasures that came out of his rock saw, which he built from a kit in 1972. And when I was lucky enough to bring that saw home, it opened up a whole new world of rocks for me. Without my dad, I wouldn't have this channel. Without my dad, I might never have learned the joy of walking slowly, head down, scanning the earth for treasures. He is with me every step, and I'm so grateful for the gift of rocks. I went collecting thundereggs with my dad and my mom at the polka dot agate mine near Madras, Oregon, and it was a wonderful day. It was the last time my dad got out rock hunting, and I think he enjoyed it. I know I did. It was a really beautiful time, and the thundereggs that we took out are really special too. This old thing is a Fransom saw, and it was built by my dad in 1972 from a kit, and it is my very first saw, and one that I was so happy to get because then I could start cutting agates. I'm pretty sure that this is from that same trip where we were getting thundereggs, but there's also the polka dot agate mine there, and I think this is actually a piece of the polka dot agate, even though it doesn't look like it at all. Lesson number 3. Laugh. Laugh a lot. Life can be hard, but it is much easier if you face it with humor. Here is a really pretty little purple geode. Love, love, love that. That's so nice. Lesson number 4. Don't be afraid to be silly. My dad had to learn silliness from my mom. It didn't come naturally to him because the family he grew up in didn't encourage that kind of behavior. But by the time I came along, my dad was as silly as they come. That silliness, that unafraid willingness to look foolish, rubbed off on me, and I love him for it. Here is a very cool example of what I was talking about with the stalactites and the stalagmites. I guess these are stalagmites growing up from the bottom. You can just see there is like a little mini cave right there in the thunderegg. It's so very different from the thundereggs that you get from Richardson's, which is Richardson's Rock Ranch, which is just down the road. Those are small and have solid centers, and these are mostly geodes. Very, very neat. Lesson number 5. Try new things. My dad taught me I could learn anything I wanted to do with nothing more than the will to learn and a good book. He built his own lapidary machines, created rock art, constructed decks, cleared drains, fixed household appliances, and taught himself cooking and wood carving. In my mind, there was nothing my dad couldn't do. I took that knowledge to heart. I love trying new things and learning new skills, and I believe that with the right tools and the right practice, nothing is impossible. The thing that really got my dad into rockhounding was discovering fossils in the area that he was living in South Dakota. He had some people who were enthusiastic collectors, and they took him along. And from there, his love of rockhounding and lapidary just blossomed. Lesson number 6. Travel. When my parents packed me and my brothers up and moved to Cambridge, England for a year so my dad could study Old Testament theology, I looked at it as a fun adventure. What I didn't know then is that experiencing new cultures and places would broaden my mind, make me understand the world in ways that I hadn't before. Travel helped me understand what a big, complicated world we have, and how very small my place is in it. Some White River gastropods. Lesson number 7. Take time to rest. While my dad was an active guy for much of his time on Earth, he recognized the need for a quiet space in his life. Whether he was just leaning with his back against a tree, reclining in bed, or sleeping in his chair with his mouth open and snoring loudly, my dad taught me the value of downtime. Let's just say I get my nap skills from my father. This one is very cool. It's a twofer. There's some nice botryoidals in there. You can see it's got purple. The thundereggs from this mine are just amazing. They're all humongous, almost all of them, and they often have these very, very cool crystals and stalactites and stalagmites in there. That is really neat. Lesson number 8. Let go. When I was a little girl and started getting worked up about something, my dad would intone in his best pastor's voice, "Do not be anxious." While his Bible quote was intended humorously, the message stuck. Don't stress out about things you can't control. Life can be beautiful without toiling or spinning, just like the lilies of the field. These are something called javasites from the Rockport Quarry in Colorado. And I'm sure this is another kind of coral. This is unusual, though, that all of the rest of them are sort of coral-shaped, and then there's a big stone like that. Kind of neat. Lesson number 9. Have patience. When I was young, I wanted to learn how to catch a ball. Having been born with a congenital cataract, I'm blind in one eye and lack the depth perception needed to easily track thrown objects. But my dad, my dear patient dad, played catch with me day after day, tossing the ball from only a few feet away until I could catch it there and then moving half a step back and trying again. He never got frustrated at my slow progress. Instead, he encouraged my successes and cheered me on. This dynamic applied throughout my life. I was supported and loved, and I am so lucky. When he was collecting fossils, he labeled them carefully, and this one is probably 60 years that this tape has been on this card. This is a gastropod fossil that he found near the Thompson Ranch. Ooh, look, it has a little bit of mother of pearl on it. That'll be nice to just kind of put on a shelf. Buried way underneath is this beautiful piece of ammonite. It's partial, of course. The ammonite itself would be completely circular, but it's a really nice specimen, and I love it. I'm going to clean it up and put it on my shelf. The newspaper date here is 1972, so we can see how long they've been in the box. Oh, look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? That's another one that I'm going to have to kind of polish and put into the display case. This is awfully pretty. You see it has a little bit of that pearly opalescence kind of thing underneath. I might have to use a little sanding and take that down to the color there. Lesson number 10. Love. Love deeply, love completely. My dad taught me what it meant to love your neighbor. He lived a life of service and lived that love through action. He taught me how to love the people in my family, but also the cranky bus driver and the tired mother with 4 young kids. He taught me how to love my husband, but also how to care about hurting people I've never met. He lived a life where love was central to almost everything he did. Thank you, Dad, for the top 10 things you taught me and too many other lessons to number. I will miss you, but you will always live on in my heart. In every rock I stoop to pick up, every deep breath I take, every time I'm patient or loving. And every time I'm anxious, your words will echo in my ears. Do not be anxious. Those are words to live by. Thank you for watching this special video. This is Kate. Keep on doing.